Yeah, hello everyone. It's Godiva here again. And I just thought to check in on us. The year is getting to an end. Of course, this is December. And I know for some of us, it's a year full with achievements. Okay, I wanted to achieve this. I did this. I wanted to achieve this. It came in. Why for some of us, it's a year that was filled with challenges. That was filled with maybe setbacks or whatever it is. One lady said that even though her brain is, she loses her brain, even though she loses her her brain, um, she won't be able to forget the pain that she went through during this period, during this year, that's 2024. Even though her brain, she loses her brain, she will never forget the pain she went through this year, 2024. So I don't know if maybe any of us is having similar um experience, and that must really be hard. So you could, just by that statement, you can really picture that it must have been a really tough time for that person, for that individual. So now that we're getting to the end of the year, which of course it could be a difficult year for you, or maybe was a year filled with achievement, or maybe it was both, had a really tough, painful, unforgettable experience, but also had a positive achievement, were able to, maybe by God's grace, still navigate to achieve something worthwhile, which is really good, also at least positive. However, whichever one you find yourself not really achieving what you wanted to, or even having setbacks, or possibly achieving and also experiencing the challenges, or maybe not even having any challenges at all, maybe you're just okay. This is what we're going to be focusing on. How are you? How are you as we end this 2024? And I think I would like to challenge you to think through your year, to think through your year. How was this year for me? What are the things, even as we're getting closer to 2025, without any form of pressure, without any form of judgment? Not at this point, when you're checking how was your year, it's not, I'm not suggesting, I'm not saying you should check, okay, it was bad, good. No, no, not ascribing anything to how your year went. Just thinking through it. How was my year? Just blank that way. I did this, I didn't do this. I wanted to achieve this, I didn't want to. Like, whatever it is, just look through it at the, just with an open mind, being open minded, look through it. And are there things you wanted to achieve? Were you able to achieve them? If not, what happened? You wanted to achieve, maybe for you it could be buying a house. You wanted to achieve maybe buying a car. Maybe you wanted to achieve finishing your program, your undergraduate program. You wanted to finish a book, reading a book. Whatever, it can be as little as whatever it is. So but what was that thing you wanted to achieve? Were you able to achieve it? Let me say, for example, I wanted to, let me say, I wanted to read a book. I wanted to read a particular number of books for this year. And did I achieve or didn't I achieve it? Maybe I could look back and say I didn't achieve it. And then what made you not to achieve it? Is it something you still would like to pursue? Or is it something you feel you had a change preference? You have a change, you wouldn't want to continue on that path. But whatever it is, where are you at the time? What are some of the experiences, maybe mistakes you did, you experiences you had that you were not happy with, you weren't proud of, actions you took that you weren't proud of? What led you to it? Like, for some of us, it could be I was raped. Someone saying she was raped or he was raped. Whatever. Then what led to it? Oh, maybe I went out late. I went out to I didn't sense that wasn't a good friend. I wasn't very proactive. Whatever it is, I didn't. Looking back in hindsight, I could see there were potential signs, but I didn't pick up on them. Now focus on those potential signs, not on the fact that the action has been done. then what can you do differently? The whole essence of why I'm sharing this, is just basically about you going through your year, regardless of how difficult it was, or maybe how happy you are, how happy it went, looking through it. You can put down, if it's okay with you, in a journal, maybe things that you didn't get right, things you're not proud of. Then you look at it critically. What can you do differently? Especially looking into the 2025 we're going into. What are some of the goals you've had? And what are some of the what are some of the goals you have? Or what you're looking forward to this 2025. Now, not throwing 2024 aside, looking through the 2024 to identify maybe things you did well, what helped you do it well, things you didn't do well, what contributed to that thing not being done well, or things you regret, what contributed to that. Some of the mistakes we do sometimes is, we try to maybe avoid, if it is something good we did, we're proud of. I passed the exam, I read those books, I did whatever it is, I met that goal, and we're happy to look at it. But sometimes when it's a difficult one, as maybe I didn't complete that book, I someone I got raped, or maybe I didn't buy that car, I didn't buy the house. These are all example. When you're the person in that position and you're thinking, this is what happened to me, but it's a negative something, not positive, right? Then sometimes it's difficult for us to even go back to think through what happened, what led to that time, because it's just so difficult emotion, and I understand totally. But in those difficulties, in those failures, in those setbacks are valuable lessons that you can pick up on to move forward. If this is just the only thing you got from this video, that's just the main point. In your experiences, whether it's good, what helped it to be good, what contributed to it being good. Someone can say, I had the fear of God, I was closer to God, I was more prayerful, I was more hardworking, I was more disciplined, and I was more, determined. I was more smart. I was smarter. You know, someone can look at all those values. Those are important things to note. Then, on the contrary, someone can say, "Oh, I I was procrastinating a lot. I wasn't that serious. I was careless in these areas. I was." Those are points. Regardless of whatever result that came out of that, no matter how bitter it is, it's still important we're able to be in much control, discipline ourselves so much to go and see what is it that led to this thing. And the whole essence of what is it that led to these things is to pick out on what are the things I could do differently. Now, looking from this year, what are the things I did greatly I can implement for my goals 2025? What are some of the things I did wrongly? What are some of the hard things that happened to me? Are there things that I have no control over? There are things that even though time should be rewind, there was no sign, there was nothing that I couldn't rewind. Then those ones to be forgiven. You forgive yourself of them. There's nothing you can do about it really. So you forgive yourself about that, and heal from it and move on. But there's actually nothing maybe you could learn, especially when you look at it and say, there was really nothing I could have done differently. But when you look at things, I feel, okay, I could have done this differently. I could have changed this. Then what are those things that you think, okay, these are things I didn't pick up, I could learn from? Then with that, you can implement it to the 2025 as we're going forward to make sure that, you're growing, you're getting higher, and not just that, you're maintaining a good state of mind even while you're growing. Another point I want to mention today is the area of comparison. Comparison is a very it's a factor. So the fire alarm. Yeah, my husband is downstairs there. Okay, so another thing that I would like to point out today, as long as you can hear me, is the area of comparison. Now, some of us might be watching our goals, but are you really looking at it for you, or are you comparing it to someone else's? Let me say, for example, I should have read 10 books this year, particular list of books. Why am I reading those books? Is it to get, you know, have say I've read, maybe for competition reasons, for, to just show off, to show that I'm also reading, non-directional reading, just reading, just to make sure I've had something to maybe to show off, or to, or at least as a comparison to maybe show that I can read more books than some other person. Or is it because I feel there's a personal aspect of my growth I need to achieve, and I think this book is going to be vital to helping me? So now, looking at your goals, looking at things, what are some of the things you did out of um, pressure? Pressure to meet up, pressure, to not just external pressure. You try to see yourself, you're being pressured, kind of unconsciously or consciously, pressured into doing certain things, um, comparing yourself in a way that is not healthy, pushing yourself in comparison to whatever it is in a way that is not healthy. Now it's time for you to identify what are some of those unhealthy behaviors. It's okay to compare yourself with yourself. It's okay maybe to look at people and see maybe good virtues, good values, good things you can pick up on. However, still maintaining your identity in the whole of it. The whole aim is for you to be the better version of yourself, for you to enhance yourself, for you to be you and improve you and keep being the best of you. Not necessarily because you have to do it to show off or maybe to push someone aside. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So what are some of those things that you did this year? Are there certain things where you pressured into anything, where you pressured into anything whatsoever to do something that on your own you wouldn't want to do? And do you want to carry that into 2023? Living a life of pressure, you're pressured into doing something. You're doing certain things not because you want to do it, but because someone else or maybe people around you, especially this age, it's very difficult for young people to stay without having boyfriends. It's very difficult. And, however, I also wouldn't say all young people, because no matter how difficult it is, there are people, whether boyfriend or girlfriend, there are people who are keeping themselves, who are really just keeping themselves, being themselves. However, the pressure can be intense. So then you see some persons, going into it. Even research has it. Sometimes you see young people going into all of this, having all this sort of relationship because their peers has it. It's not to be left alone in all of that. So you look at yourself, what are some of those things you're doing that's as a result of peer pressure? Not really like you feel you want to do it, or not because it's okay within you resonate with it, but just because of peer, others are doing it, so I have to do it, so I wouldn't look left behind. That kind of life puts you in mental strain, mental stress. It helps you not live actually fulfilled life, because you keep living a photocopy about what people, not you. So it's about time you look through the year. What are some of the things I did? Because I was pressured. Pressure led me to this. Pressure led me to peer pressure, whatever pressure led me to this. Not really from within, not really an inner drive, not really purpose from within me, not really the God-given vision, the God-given goals, what is made for me as an individual. What are some of those things? So you pick up on them, and now that will inform and help you know what to do differently. So just as to wrap up, as we're ending this year, this is a period for you to reflect without any form of judgment to yourself. If it is a worst year, you did it all wrongly, it is a time to reflect and look at, okay, what led to this point? How did it get here? And how do I want it 2025? Do I still want to carry it this way? Or do I want a difference? Then if I want a difference, there has to be a difference in what I do. in what I did this year. And how do I find that difference? By looking at my action and now knowing what I can do differently. Then, did I do it all beautifully this year? Is there something I would like to improve next year? Then if there's something you want to improve, definitely you have to look at this year, look at the commitments you did, the discipline you did, whatever it is you did. Then you can now see how can you build on that into 2025. But at all point, using your failures, using the pains, using your setbacks, using whatever it is you experienced this year as a stepping stone to helping you build yourself, to help you be an edge, at least ahead of where you were this year, even as you move into 2025. So I hope after watching this video, you'll be able to at least, most importantly, take, a deeper, fresh breath, like have a fresh breath to looking through your challenges without first going to the hurt, without first going into the pain, or without first going into judgments, but rather taking your eyes off the judgments and the pain to rather look at the cause behind the pain, the causes, what happened. And if you've also achieved, looking as well beyond it based on what your goal is. But ultimately, looking at things that you've done and what you can do differently, and also how you can live a life that is more authentic, more you, rather than pressure from external, whatever the environment, social media, whatever it is, just being you. I hope you were able to get a ton of value from this video. I think as we get closer to the end of the year, it's just about end of the year talk, wrap talk. I will be doing this period, especially centered around helping you become you, whether it's in relationship, mental health, or just your well-being generally. Okay, so if these are the kind of things you like to hear, please do subscribe, or you can like the video, you subscribe, or based on where you're watching from. But I make live videos on Facebook, so you can join our Facebook page, so you can, if you want to ask questions, if you want to contribute, whatever it is, you can do that there. All right, it's always a pleasure to come here. Remember, I'm Godiva, I'm a counselor, so if you always also want to reach out for counseling support, you can always do that. I will be happy to support you as well. Okay, so till next week, remain safe and do take care of you. Bye bye for now. Bye.